All right, hello little loves. This is my attempt at teaching Wednesday's lesson and recording it so that you guys who weren't there can use it, or if you just need to listen to it again, you can use that to figure out what you're missing. So our discussion on Wednesday started by looking at these 6 triangles, and if you recall, what we had talked about earlier in the week was that the 4 on the left, angle, side, angle, side, angle, side, angle, angle, side, and side, 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 were all ways to prove congruence. If I gave everybody in class an angle, a side, and an angle, and I said, use a protractor and go make a triangle using that information, everybody in class would come up with exactly the same triangle. Because this, if you know the angle, side, and angle of a triangle, it dictates a unique triangle. If I gave everybody in class a side, an angle, and a side, and I said, go use this protractor and make a triangle, everybody would come up with exactly the same triangle because this dictates a unique triangle. And so that's why these 4 can be used to prove congruence. That's why we use those in geometry. Now, the bad word that you can't use in geometry, the Hass case, as I like to call it, is also called the ambiguous case. If I gave you an angle, side, and side, and said, okay, use this protractor and go make a triangle, it would not dictate a unique triangle. Sometimes there's no triangle. Sometimes there's one triangle. And sometimes there's 2 triangles. So it does not give you a unique triangle. It gives you one of 3 possibilities. It's called ambiguous, and that's what we're going to look at further today. And then if you recall the angle, 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 if I gave everybody in class the angles 50 degrees, 60 degrees, and 70 degrees and said use this protractor and go make a triangle, everybody in the class could come up with a different size triangle. This does not dictate a unique triangle, so we don't do anything with that. Okay, so we are going to now investigate this angle, side, side situation called the ambiguous case more closely. So you can do this on a sheet of binder paper. Some of you have this paper that I handed out that says the ambiguous case on top. If you have it, you can get that out and use. We're going to do what we did in class. If you just have a piece of binder paper, that works just fine as well. So we're going to work on this first. So if you are given an angle, a side, and the side opposite the angle, I'm going to actually draw that for realsies for you right now using this protractor. So I don't know what this bottom line is going to be, so I'm just going to draw a nice long line. I'm going to label this A, and now I am going to use my protractor. I'm going to put that on the dot right there. I'm going to see how that can be out of line. I'm going to line it up so it's nice and straight across. And then I am going to find 65 degrees out here on my protractor, and I'm going to put a dot way out there. Now I'm going to line up, using my protractor, I'm going to line up dot A here with that way out there. And I'm not using my protractor correctly in terms of inches. You see how this B is at 10? I'm just going to count off 10 of these right now. That's not being very exact in terms of inches. It's just to give us a measurement here. So 10 is going to be, let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so this is 10. So that's my side B, and I'm going to call it 10. Now I've got a side 24 that has to be across from this A that I need to put over here. So I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to count off 24. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So now I need to bring this down to meet the line. Okay, something like that. Looks pretty good. So this is 24. Now this is going to be B because it's across from B. This would be C, and this would be little c. Okay, so in this case, we got one triangle. And the reason we did was because A was greater than B. And when A is greater than B, that can happen, one triangle, okay? There's only one way that that could go. So now we're gonna do it again. Let's try this again. I'm gonna draw another triangle given different information. I'm gonna start, I don't know how long this side C is gonna be, so I'm just gonna draw a nice long line right here. I'm gonna put side A right here. I'm gonna go 62 degrees, so I'm gonna bring my protractor around. 62 degrees is going to be approximately right there. I'm going to turn and connect this, and I need B to be 12. Notice I'm not connecting the dots, I'm just lining them up, and now I'm going to count off my B side, which is 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So there's 12. Ooh, that didn't look very good. Sure, we'll turn that into a dot. Perfect. And then now I've got 7. So now I'm going to go and put this here, and I'm going to count off 7. Uh-oh. 2, 4, 6, 7 would be like right here. Oh, crud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it did. Okay. Okay. So that right there would be 7. Do you notice that 7 is just not long enough to reach this other side? This 7 is not, no matter how I turn it, what if I made it here? Would it be long? Nope, still not long enough. What if I go straight down? Nope, 7 doesn't work. No triangle exists. It's not possible to draw a triangle out of this information. And the reason why is because A is significantly smaller than B. Okay, so I'll give you a second to look at both of those. If you need to get caught up, you can always pause me and then get more, listen more later. It's going to be amazing. Don't want to miss a thing. Sorry about my sniffly nose too, if you're hearing that. Okay, so I'm going to scooch that up a little bit. So look, if you look, we've talked about no triangle existing. That's this one. And we've given one example of where exactly one triangle exists. There's more ways that that can happen than just one. And so I'm going to give you another example of that right now. So here is long side. I don't know what that one's going to be. We're going to mark this my A again. Notice we're just doing the same exact thing multiple times. My dot's not very good there. Okay, I'm going to line that up. I'm going to go out here. Oh no, what is it? 65 degrees. Okay. I'm going to go out here to 65 degrees, put a dot. I'm going to line these up and count off 24. Okay, here we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So there's 24 right there. Okay, now I've got side A, which is going to be 22. Well, if that's 24, 22 is probably going to be something like that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Look at that. Lines up perfectly. What kind of triangle does that make? That makes a right triangle. It was literally perfect. You don't have to put that right in. That's irrelevant that it made a right triangle. The point is that given that information, another way to get one triangle from this is if A equals H, where H is the height of the triangle. Do you guys remember doing that with triangles? Even maybe this one, if you wanted to find the height, you'd drop a perpendicular. If you wanted to find the height, you'd drop a perpendicular. Well, this happens to be the perpendicular. So that's another example of a situation here with the ambiguous case where you could get just one triangle. Well, so what's all the fuss about then? All right, so let's look here at number 4. You're going to see something interesting. Now, in class, I wasn't doing these for you. I was having every kid do them. And so when I put these up and every kid goes to do them, they, of course, do exactly what they've been doing, which is what I expected. They get their 30-degree angle. And they go like this. I need 24 here, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So there's 24. This is A, 30 degrees. I should have been marking that all along, just for accuracy. And here for 65. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to go put A in. And in class, let's see, I need a pencil from Mr. Gibbsy Bear. Of course, there's not a single one. Please work. Yay! Okay. In class, this is what everybody did. And so I was just walking around and watching, and this is what everybody did. So we've got 14, and they all went like this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. They went. Uh-oh, now I'm off. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. A little bit more. Oh, no. Just ignore this part. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Miss Hass is way smooth. Okay, so just ignore that just went on. So they all went like that, which is to be expected because that's what we'd been doing, right? That's great. That's 14, and that's totally correct. And then what I put on the board, it was not that. When I did this afterwards, I put this on the board. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And everybody went, what? That's not what I drew. That's not what I drew. And there was confusion for a second until they realized this is the case of 2 triangles. 2 triangles are possible. You have this one, which is an obtuse triangle, and you have this one, which is the acute triangle. So you have 2 triangles possible here. And this is when h, which is the height, is less than a. So a is bigger than this, but it's less than b. So this is the situation where you can have that happen. So there are 4 really good examples. 1 triangle, no triangle. 1 triangle where the height is the side that you've got, and then a possibility of 2 triangles. And then down here, I'm going to give you a second to get this copied down. These are, can you see that whole thing? I think you can. Let me move this up a little bit more. Okay, so now you're looking at 5 and 6, which we did not do in class, but they are good examples that you can use as well. It just gives you an obtuse example of a 1 triangle. So this is like number 1, except for the angle's obtuse instead of acute. Number 6 here is another example of where no triangle is, but with an obtuse angle. So these you could just copy down to have 2 more examples, but they're not, I did not have people in class do them. Okay, I'm holding this so that you can copy, and then now you can hit pause and keep copying. So this is done with what we did on Wednesday. I will be recording today's lesson tomorrow during 8th period, so you can look for that sometime Friday afternoon. Okay, take care. I hope this was a ton of fun for you. Watch it over and over and over. Bye.